Hi everybody, it's me, Dark Ephemera, Dark Arts and Crafts, and welcome to my Cozy Kaiju Corner. Oh, that's not good. That's 3 Ks in a row. That can't be good. Um Cozy Kaiju book review is really what's happening here. Finally, I finished reading something and we could talk about it. Let's see what I got. Oh, it's gonna be shiny, I think. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to take these out of the plastic. So what I have here is comic books from IDW. It's still a bit shiny. IDW, who make a lot of Godzilla related things. And this one's called Escape the Deadzone. And this is part of, so they're trying to create their own Kaiju universe or Godzilla universe that isn't related to any other movie, anything else. And they're calling it the Keisai era. And this is one of the first ones that was released. There was also Starship Godzilla and technically Starship Mechagodzilla. And I think one just called Keisai era. So this one's called Escape the Deadzone. And it is 6 issues. I'm going to quick flip through and I'll show you some of the things. Generally speaking, it was okay, but it wasn't the best Godzilla thing. You hardly ever see him. He's barely in it. So the idea here is that at some point, Earth was like normal, okay? But then at some point, Kaiju came. And they had something inside of them called Keisai energy. And this is not just radioactivity, but it's a kind of radioactivity. They don't really talk about it too much in this one. And the Keisai energy, whenever it touches anything, it mutates it, makes it crazy. So you've got people growing tails and he has the ability to kind of, he can get like really strong claws and spikes coming out of his jacket. It also mutates plants and animals and, well, everything else. And the Kaiju kind of took over this one area, which I think the Pacific Northwest, I think. And that is referred to as the Dead Zone. And for the rest of the world, or the rest of the United States, though Manhattan is in a walled area, I'm assuming there's pockets of people here and there. I'm not sure. But the rest of the world think the Dead Zone is just, there's nothing in there. Like all the people are dead or they've escaped, etc. But actually there's a lot of people, a lot of mutants, and they're just trying to make a living, trying to get on with things. It's hard to tell how many years it's been since this happened because, well, so we meet this guy and he's just referred to as the Wanderer. He'll help people. He wants to kill Kaiju, though. That's like his main thing. However, the very first pages, we see this man, ordinary man, and he loves somebody. And then one day at his office, Kaijus galore. And the time between this and the rest of it, it's hard to tell. So yeah, Pacific Northwest. Welcome to Seattle. And this character's become kind of a legend, but it's highly implied because you see he has that picture that this is that redheaded guy that we saw in the beginning, and he does structurally have the same face. Okay. And he runs around and he kills monsters, and they're really blah, 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 blah. They're really crazy. But along with him, he discovers that there are people who worship Godzilla. And the head worship person is this character referred to as Mother A, with a Mothra face and a Mothra blanket. I don't think we've ever seen her. She does have claws, but I don't think we've ever seen her. If this is a mask, I'm not sure. Um, so, and you can see that it's Godzilla in their temple, right? It's a picture of the temple. She has amassed a large amount of Kasei energy in like bombs or something. And again, there's no real explanation as to what Kasei energy is, but everyone knows it's really dangerous. She has 2 kids. She gets these 2 kids who have the ability to meld themselves. Here's one, and there's the other kid. They can meld themselves with creatures and control them. And she's going to use them to take over the world, I guess. I'm not sure. It's crazy religious people, hard to tell exactly what their goals are. But they love Godzilla and they worship him. Okay. So, despite this, we hardly see Godzilla. He doesn't really even show up for a very long time. It's mostly a sort of on the road story, I guess, or a lone wolf and cub sort of story, where there's the guy, the wanderer, and there's the 2 kids, and this is the escape from the dead zone part. So they're like, we got to get out of here. We heard that there's this way to get out, and we're gonna do. Look how crazy the plants get. They turn into monsters too. Everything is like a monster here. So they're traveling. They meet various other creatures. They meet a girl who got exposed to Kasei energy and she's like 12 or something, and she turns giant. She has a crush on Godzilla. She's like in love with him. And that's weird. Some furry weirdness. And in this episode, issue number 5, spoiler, it's on the cover, she fights Baragon. Baragon. So besides Godzilla, we just get a hint of Mothra, and we've got like Baragon. I'm sure others will pop up at various points, but it's just kind of strange. So in this one, as you can see, it looks like a Thunderdome. Well, that's exactly what it is. So these guys in this one town that they come across, they capture a bunch of kaiju and they make them fight each other. They capture this giant girl and they make her fight Baragon. And they also make the Wanderer fight as well, because he has, he can transform into something a little larger and a lot tougher. Okay. But these guys also captured somebody else very important. Baby Godzilla. I mean, real Mania stuff. I know I don't want to flip through too many but they find Mania and then use Mania to draw Godzilla over. And then that's it. That's all you ever see of Godzilla. A little bit when he comes and gets his kid back. In the end, this guy's captured. The kids get back to their cult or whatever. And then they are teasing the next series. So I really enjoyed Here There Be Dragons, and then Here There Be Dragons Part 2, which then turned into Here There Be Aliens. Here There Be Aliens went a little off the rails, but I like the basic concepts between the 2 Here There Be Dragons episodes. So they're going to do the same thing, where this story technically didn't really end so much as stop. So he's imprisoned, and there's no way he can escape. And then Godzilla, Revenge of the Dead Zone. So they actually took him out of the Dead Zone. So I don't know what the revenge part is. Okay. So they then have this case-like communique, Revenge of the Dead Zone's coming up. This is the regular Kasei issues and Starship Godzilla, which, as I said, is basically Mecha Godzilla. Alternate covers for this last one. You see Godzilla was in this issue, the last one. So the monsters are just crazy. Godzilla versus Portland. Do I have that one? In stores in March. Okay, I better go check and see if I got it in my pull list packet. Generally speaking, I get that they want to create, that IDW wants to create their own universe. And then I just recently heard that maybe this is one of the reasons why they want to do it, is that they're going to be making a tabletop role-playing game. And it's called Kozy Era. And so I think these are kind of like groundwork for, like, look, we have Manhattan as a walled city, we have the Dead Zone, we have all kinds of things. So that would be very interesting in a role-playing game. I think the book for the role-playing game is going to come out at some point. So if you thought this was interesting, you of course can either try to get the individual issues, or you can wait until a trade paperback comes out, and that would probably be your best bet. Or you could even wait even longer, because there's probably going to be more of these Dead Zone issues, like Revenge of the Dead Zone, and there's probably going to be another one, and then they'll pack them all together in one whole thing. So Godzilla to me is super interesting. Godzilla rampaging through a highly mutated landscape just wasn't that interesting. Um, the the idea that Godzilla is either worshipped as a god, or uh, some 12-year-old fell in love with him. I don't get it. And yeah, I didn't like any of that. Did not like any of that. This guy was interesting. He's, but even people in the Dead Zone thought he was weird. Like, my God, you have a tail. How very freakity freaky. Um, yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. So, buy it if you want, or not, whatever. I read it. I'm not sure if this is going to stay on my keep list. I cull my Godzilla collection every now and then pretty deeply. And at some point it's going to be like, nah. So when it comes to IDW, I take a look and read what people are saying about it. And then I start collecting the individual issues. And sometimes I'm like, oh, that doesn't sound that interesting. But then maybe those ones I might wait and then get the trade paperback afterwards. This one, I'm being more cautious now. And right now, their IDW is also very deeply into their Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle crossover with Godzilla, which does not interest me at all. And I guess they're putting a lot of time and effort into the role-playing game that they're creating. So there doesn't seem to be that many things. You've got the Godzilla vs. City books. You saw Portland there. And also, what was the other one? Kansas City, I think, is coming out. I can't remember. Those are interesting, and those can go on forever because there's no through line story. They are just, they go to a city, they find artists from that city, and they have them draw whatever they want in terms of Godzilla. Godzilla versus the Marvel Universe was also kind of like that. Like, it was like a bunch of individual stories. Here they are fighting the Fantastic Four from the 1980s. Here they are fighting, I don't know, the first version of the X-Men. I don't know. I bought a bunch of those, and I'm not going to really go too much further than that. So there's a lot of Godzilla crossover stuff that I don't really think is that interesting. I do actually really love it when Legendary comes out with something to fill in between the movies. I love those books a lot. But this one, meh. Mad Max meets Lone Wolf and Cub with a tiny bit of Godzilla thrown in there. That's all I got. At any rate, it wasn't that interesting, but thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope you decide to buy it or not. I'm not being sponsored by anybody, so it's no skin off my nose. So thank you for joining the very first Kaiju book club, or actually, this is Cozy Kaiju book review is what I was calling it, because I'm not really expecting you guys to buy these books so that we could have a discussion on it. But feel free, if you've read these, discuss away below. And I will see you again. This is Dark Ephemera saying, Happy Godzilla Day, everybody. It's always Godzilla Day where I am. Bye, and thank you for watching.